Get started once again. Another unscheduled broadcast of my stream. Let's see how we're doing here. We're still on our way to affiliate. I'm up to 1,000 views, so that's great. But I do need to get more viewers actually active when I'm streaming. I'm at 2.2 average viewers over the last 30 days. I do need to kick that up a little bit in order to make affiliate. I need to be at 3 or higher. So I'm really close. I'm like right on the edge. So if you know anybody who can come in and view the stream, please do. I'm going to throw my schedule up here real quick. Now for scheduled shows, I have Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 p.m. to midnight, all time Central Time. Saturday and Sunday from noon to 3, and Tuesdays from 5 to 7, where I do the Nostalgia Gaming Show, kind of like this unscheduled show I'm doing right now, where I typically play games like old school RuneScape, new RuneScape, um, Final Fantasy X, Dark Cloud 1 and 2, Ape Escape, Rayman, um, Dragon's Lair, or Space Ace, games of those natures. Even older arcade games like Pac-Man and Dig Dug and Qbert. So you never quite know what I'm going to be playing. Although right now my main focus has been mostly old school RuneScape with a little bit of new RuneScape to contrast. I know new RuneScape almost doesn't count as nostalgia gaming, but because I'm contrasting it with the old school RuneScape, I still qualify it there. Now, also as you can see at the bottom of my schedule screen, all subjects are subject to change and will be overridden during alpha testing of Fractured the MMO, because I am on the alpha test team for that, and their alpha server will be opening up on the 16th of July and should be open for about a month. During that time, pretty much all of my shows, except maybe the RPG College shows, will be superseded by Fractured, and that also includes all of my unscheduled shows with one caveat, and that is during the day, on the weekdays, when my girlfriend is working from home, she has exclusive use of the home Wi-Fi, which means I have to use phone as Wi-Fi. If Fractured takes up too much bandwidth to stream that way, I may switch back to doing some old school RuneScape during those times if I decide to jump on and do some extra shows, simply because it's a lot less of a resource hog than a new game, obviously. Um, then, like said, my other shows through the week are the RPG College, which I do from 7 to 9 on Tuesdays and from 3 to 5 on Sundays. And then finally, for those who are into just watching people just stream games like from PlayStation and such, my buddies over at Left Claw Studios, which is Angel and Philip Landergan or Lurch, they stream to their own Facebook Live and YouTube channel, the Left Claw Studios, where they would do PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam games, and it varies. They've done Overwatch, they've done The Last of Us, they've done Super Smash Brothers, games of that nature. Sometimes they'll do little quirky little Steam games, but they just kind of have a good time razzing each other while they play. And so I give them another venue by also simulcasting them over to Twitch, and then I'm there to monitor the channel and copy any of your questions or concerns for them over to chat room where they can see them and respond. So everybody gets to interact, but there's now 3 channels in which to interact with them. And that's, like I said, on Tuesdays from 9 to 11. They also do it on Sundays. I think it's 2 to 5 on Sundays that they're doing it, but I'm not simulcasting that one, as I have other shows that coincide with those time slots. But that's also a show that will probably get superseded when I'm in the Fractured alpha testing. So if you want to see a brand new isometric sandbox massive multiplayer online role-playing game being tested in alpha stage, come to my Fractured MMO stream and check it out. Miles Bettis here. Hey, how's it going, bud? Good to see you. It's nice to see you jumping into the chat room like nice and early. I'm getting ready to just start up my old school RuneScape and grind some more skills because as is true of just about any massive multiplayer online role-playing game, skill grind is the name of the game. And so I'm going to go ahead and get into there in just a second. Let me go to the cam screen real quick. Now, as you can see next to me, right underneath the login for Old School RuneScape, you'll see the Extra Live banner for anybody who wants to actually participate in supporting my stream. I don't have affiliate yet, so you can't subscribe. You could go to my Patreon and become a patron, or you could support me by supporting the charity I support. And in this case, it's Extra Life, part of the Children's Miracle Network. And specifically, all funds for my campaign go to the local Springfield Greene County Cox Health Network. And these are helping children that are often hospital bound with long-term or chronic conditions such as end-stage renal disease, compromised immune systems, cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, and cancer. They're often stuck in the hospital, so their loved ones can't even visit them all the time, as a big negative to their being stuck there. And during the coronavirus, there was very severe limitations on visitation to the hospital, so they had to go a lot of that period with no visits other than their doctors and nurses. Um, the Children's Miracle Network does what they can to ease these kids in various ways, including helping fund the research to help cure their conditions, possibly arranging for um, people to come in to entertain the kids sometimes, like do things like Christmas caroling for the kids, or a magic show, or um, other things like that. Possibly helping them get video console systems for their wards so that they have something to do when they're stuck without their loved ones. Various things like that is all done through the Children's Miracle Network, and it's a great cause. And Extra Life is basically nerds, specifically gamers and other streamers, coming forth to actually earn specifically for the Children's Miracle Network in their local areas. And how we mainly do that is we have a game day once a year where we all stream anywhere from like an 8-hour stream up to like a 24-hour marathon stream, the whole time acting like a virtual telethon to raise funds for Extra Life. My own goal is currently set at $1,000 US for Extra Life in my own area, and I've gotten $25 so far on that, so it's actually broken its cherry. And I'm thinking my $1,000 is a very modest goal considering the size of our community and the reach that Twitch has. But I would be more than happy to see that slider slide further over and earn much more than $1,000 for the kids at Extra Life, because I think they really deserve it. I'm a big proponent of supporting your local community and what's going on in that community. I think that anyone who has any kind of influence on groups should be doing their best to actually get people to participate in things like this. And so I do that. I'm also on the board of directors for a local gaming convention and group that's a nonprofit that supports the education involved in the nerdy and geeky hobbies as a whole, called Eclectic Endeavors. We're under the umbrella of a 501c3 nonprofit called the Springfield Regional Art Council. We use their actual home base for a lot of our meetings and such. And I help put these kind of things on, including the Gaming Arts Media Entertainment Expo, which is a 3-day convention that we've had every year for the last 11 years. This year, year 12, did not happen because of the coronavirus. We're still looking into possible online options for an alternative this year, but next year's dates are confirmed, and we will be advertising those soon. We also do the Picnic in the End of the Universe, which we've done for several years out at Phelps Road Park here in Springfield, where we get someone like 300 or so nerds out there in the sunlight. You get to see them burst into flame like vampires, because you never see nerds out in the sun. But we provide hamburgers and hot dogs, and then it's potluck for everything else. And that's sponsored by Metagames Unlimited. as the main sponsor for that. They make sure that we can provide the hamburgers and hot dogs, buns, and condiments. Um, Nothing can be sold at that event, of course, because of the public parking facility, public park, not parking, but public park facility at the pavilion over at Phil's Grove. And of course, that was canceled this year as well. But we're hoping to maybe do a later date, maybe possibly in the autumn, depending on things going, and if we can even find a date that's available. So keep posted on that. You can go to join the group Eclectic Endeavors on Facebook, and you can be kept up to date, or you can just search for the Gaming Arts Media Entertainment Expo on Facebook. Both of those places will give you updates, or you can go to www.springfieldgame.com, and there you can keep track of what's going on with us. Anything we make over and above what it costs to put on our various events goes into different programs to help in the nerd community. Previously, we did scholarships to the nerdy arts. Uh, Due to insufficient people applying for the scholarships, we've changed gears so that now what we're looking to do is take the excess funds and put them towards sponsoring after school clubs at the middle school, high school level that are involved with one of our nerdy hobbies. So it could be a miniature painting club, an anime club, a Dungeons and Dragons club. Your club would apply for our sponsorship and how much money they need to do a specific thing, and we would look it over, and if it meets what our criteria is for what we're trying to promote, and that we think we can actually help, then we will do so. And so you can find more information about that also at our website, which is springfieldgame.com. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hop into old school RuneScape now to do a little bit of play. I don't know how long I'll be playing right now. This is an unscheduled broadcast, but I'll probably play for at least an hour. Then, depending on how many people come in, I might cut it short just to not hurt my stats. And if people are coming in, I might go longer to improve my stats, because I do want to make affiliate, and so I don't want to do anything that's detrimental to that goal. And staying on when nobody's watching is detrimental, but staying on when people are there is a positive influence on me getting the affiliate, and then you'd be able to subscribe to my channel. Just to remind people that if you are a Amazon Prime subscriber, you get one free subscription on Twitch every month, and you can change that from month to month to month. In fact, at the end of the month, it doesn't auto-renew on the place that you had it on before. It automatically stops, and you have to go in and physically set that subscription again, because it kind of encourages you to use that thing as a rolling subscription to show your support of the different channels that you like. Now, that's not to say you can't go back into the same channel on the anniversary of when it expires every month and just resubscribe to that. And the channel itself gets credit for every one of their subscriptions they get, whether it's an Amazon Prime subscription or a cash subscription, which generally costs about $4.99. And then finally, I did mention if you want to support me directly right now, while I don't have the ability to subscribe, and you're not looking to support my charitable function right now, you could go to my Patreon page, which is www.patreon.com/gamerseuss, just like the channel name. And I have 2 tiers of membership there. I have a $5 basic tier, which right now gives you nothing other than being a supporter. And then I've got the $10 tier, which has currently a copy of the prologue for a book I'm working on in the lit RPG genre. And you get early access to read that prologue. When I later come out with the next, the first chapter in the book, I will be moving that prologue down to the $5 a month tier so they can actually preview it then. And the $10 a month tier will get to see the new chapter. And that's how I'm going to do with all my projects going forward, because my Patreon is mainly to support my writing and my streaming. Everything is going to go towards getting better equipment for writing and streaming, and actually upping my game so that I can eventually self-publish some of my books and do better when it comes to running my stream. I do not use dual monitor support, which is what a lot of streamers do to keep monitoring of chat. I actually monitor it on my cell phone, which means that I don't always catch what everybody says, and sometimes you'll come in and I won't notice. I do apologize for that. One of the things I am hoping to get is dual monitor support once I move into a bigger place. Right now, I live in a small trailer, and there's just not room for me to set up with a dual monitor system right now. But that is one of the goals in the future, and that's what the support. One of the things the support will buy is dual monitor support, uh, better microphone and filter systems, and a card so that I can even stream my PlayStation 4 directly through the computer, so I can use a more professional looking overlay that you see here instead of streaming raw directly from the PlayStation, where all you do is get to see the game screen, but no extras, none of this screen flipping or anything, like showing the schedule or the Extra Life banner and stuff like that is currently available on my PlayStation stream when I do stream from the PlayStation console. Anyway, I'm going to get started hosting my old school RuneScape right now, which is the one I have been doing for most of my nostalgia gaming as of late. That, and I've sometimes touched on new RuneScape to kind of compare and contrast. And as far as I know, I'm one of the only shows on Twitch that actually plays both games and allows people to contrast the two. See, hit affiliate and I will sub. Thanks, Miles, but I'm waiting for that. Yeah, use your Amazon Prime. And you're playing OSRS right now too. That's great. Well, I'm about to jump in and get started, and that means I'll talk a little bit less because I'll be gaming a little bit more. I may or may not notice as much the chat room, but if you've got friends that you know out there that could come help me earn my affiliate status by coming in and viewing my channel, please do so, because the more viewers I have, the sooner I'll be able to actually get affiliate, and then you'll be able to subscribe to my channel, and I'll be able to actually more seriously devote a lot of time to this uh, twitching business. I'm getting a little twitchy is what I'm saying. Anyway, off we go with some old school RuneScape. What was that? As if I'm not twitchy enough as it is. Yes, the peanut gallery, aka my girlfriend, had to point that out. Let's see. Log in. Okay, let's see here. I need to see what um, I'm in the midst of doing. Okay, I've been doing armlets. That's what I was practicing up with lately. Was armlets. So blue, gold. Hello, Dr. Carly. Welcome to my show. I see, is that a wave or a high five? Either one. I return that to you. I'm not real familiar with all the emoji shortcuts on Twitch, so I just generally don't use a bunch of emojis. Don't take of it as any kind of slight. I love seeing them. I'm just not. I'm still brand new to mostly to Twitch. I just started streaming in April for because of the coronavirus. Other than that, I watched a few streams, but I didn't really chat a whole lot. Mainly, I would watch like Critical Role and the D&D streams, and sometimes the new tech release stuff for like PlayStation 5 and the D&D Live and Founders and Legends shows, which ran on Twitch. But other than that, I'm not a big hardcore Twitch person. I never watched other people doing most basic gameplay. I'm not like a fan of Ninja or Markiplier or any of them, although I understand they're great esports athletes, and I totally can respect them for the amount of time and dedication they put into their game, especially having now done a lot of streaming myself and seeing how hard it is just to even make the affiliate program. Uh, I got real sympathy for them. And then they're going to the point where they're actually competing in major tournaments and making a career out of this. And there's a lot of other Twitch streamers that do just that. They just make Twitch and YouTube and other things their career. My girlfriend watches like one group called Good that does Good Mythical Morning, for instance, and they've pretty much made that their career. And there's other people that do nothing but compare hot sauce, or there's the Epicureans and Tasty groups that just run these kind of shows to teach people cooking and things like that. So I've got great respect for the people that do these kind of things. I'm just now dipping my own toes into it. Speaking of tasty and Epicurean and stuff, I am actually a chef. I've trained. I apprenticed under a Cajun chef, and I've worked in restaurants that they've had Michelin stars. I've worked in a four-star restaurant, not on the Michelin system, but on the American system. And let's see what we got. Snakeskin bandanas. Okay, so I can cook just about anything. And once I am in a better place with I've got a kitchen I don't mind actually showing on camera, I will probably include shows that feature some how-to cooking type videos as well. I do have one food-related video on my YouTube channel that I did as a Twitch stream, which was me talking about 10 restaurants here in the Springfield, Missouri area that I rate as pretty much the top places to go eat, especially ethnic cuisine. And but I'm looking to, and it's called the Foodie Nerd. If you go looking for it on the Gamer Seuss channel of YouTube, because everything I do on Twitch pretty much goes to YouTube within 7 to 10 days, so it doesn't get lost. Unless it's like nothing really happened during a show, then I might not bother transferring it. But otherwise, I try to transfer everything. Now, some of my stuff is currently not available as it was hit by the copyright police there, because I was running a show called the Quarantine Karaoke, where I came and I sang karaoke songs and played funny videos and did a variety show basically online as one way to support my channel as another scheduled program. But because of the YouTube's copyright rules, I put me in violation. I'm waiting for their system to slowly mute those songs out of the files because I don't go in and edit my files. Everything is videos in the raw with me, but that means that some of my videos are kind of on hold to be fully available until they're finished with that editing. And it's a long, tedious process. And I've got several videos that are on that list. But there are still several videos that you can watch on my YouTube as well if you go there to check. What do we got people saying here? How's my crafting coming along? I'm not doing too bad. Like I said, I'm in the 40s for crafting. I'm about to change gemstones. Uh, yeah, if you look at my crafting skill on my skill page, you'll see that I've got 48 in crafting now. So I'm not doing too bad at all when it comes to crafting. Um, I'm just cleaning up some of these stones that I've had stockpiled here and trying to get a few little extra points coming before I swap over to going and training some smithing and some other types of crafting. I said that this is an MMORPG, so Yeah, being an MMORPG, there's a lot of grinding involved. In this case, I'm not grinding combat, I'm grinding skills. My past several days, you've seen me at the Motherlode mine doing a lot of mining of, well, basically what came to be coal and gold. Uh, but I'm working to do some more mining and stuff later. I just wanted to break it up a little bit by going and making some steel and gold bars and then upping my jewelry crafting a little bit. Thank you. Yeah, I've worked really hard on my crafting. Luckily, among other things, I've had people that gave me gold that got me started a little bit better as far as being able to up my crafting a little bit faster because I was able to buy certain raw materials uh, to do some of the crafting that I wanted to try in a little bit more bulk before I was able to um, mine for or whatever for some of the raw materials. But I do not use like wiki guides or anything. So I'm still pretty much doing this on either my own recognizance or on the suggestions of people that come into my stream. I don't ever plan to read wikis for anything other than like an occasional location or clarification thing. I don't follow their guidebooks. I'm also doing some work in constructing of my house in game because I do want to up my prayer and I need to get what's called a gilded altar in order to do that because I do have some high-end bones for that, specifically for burying at the gilded altar. I've got wyvern and dragon bones sitting in my bank waiting to be used to up my prayer level because right now my prayer is so low that I pretty much it gets exhausted every time I try to use it. See now, my construction's actually at level 23, and I do need to go in and do some more stuff with construction. Got to see where I left off there too, because I know there's a bunch more construction I need to do. I've had that suggested to me before. The biggest problem with me is number one, I don't know what the house party servers are, and I'm not willing to jump around to different servers because I have difficulty even looking at the server select screen. I kind of memorize which server I use, where its location is on the board, and just go to the same server all the time if I have to reset my server. I originally was just going to the first one on the list, which was 301, when I was a non-member. Now that I'm a member, the person who gave me my first bond recommended 350, and I know where 350 is on the list, and I just always go back to 350. I've heard that I could go to a friend's server or what they call a house party server, but not only do I not know that what that entails, but it would involve subjecting my eyesight to that server selection screen, which I really try to avoid doing as much as possible. For those who don't know, I was nearly completely blind for 2 years from diabetic retinopathy and cataracts. I had surgeries to correct them. My right eye is doing good, my left eye is practically useless, which does concern me because I eventually want to do um, VR gaming, but I'm not sure if I'll even be able to. Um, so yeah, so I try to avoid that server select screen as much as possible. And when I do hit it, like I said, I've got it pretty much memorized where my favorite server is, so I don't have to do a lot of searching around or squinting at the page. You know, because I do these games for fun, and so the last thing I want to do is subject myself to a potentially damaging situation for my eyes. I live by my eyesight quite a bit. Now I'm going to be eventually enchanting these bits of jewelry, which is part of the reason I'm doing such bulk magical casting on them. Let's see here. There's some rubies there. That needs 6 bits of gold. Uh, Oops, I didn't put my blue ones away. Let's see. With diamonds, don't have high enough crafting for that yet. And then I know for necklaces, there's a quest I have to do before I can do that one. Diamonds. Tell me. Also need a higher crafting. Uh, um, fresh out of a dialysis treatment too, just to let people know. So if I decide to cut out even earlier, that's a big reason probably why I would. I do show we have 3 people in channel right now, so I kind of don't want to leave because I want to keep that 3 average going as long as possible. 3 or higher is my goal to always have as 3 or higher people in for the amount of streaming I'm doing. Dialysis treatment, what is that? That is okay, I've got end-stage renal disease. It means my kidneys have failed. They do not work. Um, I do not urinate. I do not eliminate certain kinds of wastes in my body because of the fact that I do not urinate, and I retain water in my system, which puts a stress on the muscles around the areas where the water ends up accumulating. And so I have to be hooked up to an artificial kidney called a dialysis machine, which basically pulls my blood out of my body, filters and cleans it, strips the excess water, and then puts the blood back into my body. And it's a 4-hour treatment 3 days a week that I will probably be doing for the rest of my life because I also do not qualify for a transplant. So, and that's a whole other issue. But basically, because of type 2 diabetes, my kidneys failed because, of course, kidneys is, among other things, the part of your body that filters out things like medications. And since I was over medicated for diabetes and other medical conditions when I was younger, my kidneys failed because of overworking. So yeah, that's one of the things is like remember how I said I had not this last Thursday, but the Thursday before I went into the hospital. It was because of a swollen foot. We thought that the foot might be infected, but the other thing we thought it could be, and that's what it turned out to be, was just fluid retention had accumulated around the foot, which can happen. The trouble is, it can also accumulate in a lot of other places around the foot. It just causes me severe pain around the foot as it stretches the skin and it's stuff. I mean, I've got total neuropathy in my feet, so I don't feel any pain on the feet themselves. But if it swells the feet, then I get this stretched feeling throughout the entire foot up to like the knee as the skin is stretched kind of taut. And so that's a little bit torturous too. And stuff. Plus, like I said, I've got no toes on one foot, no big toe on the other because of previous infections. So we were worried about infections. But if water accumulates in other parts of the body, it can be uh, either more harmless or more deadly. Because if it accumulates in the muscles around my heart, it can cause me to have a heart attack, like I did in 2016. 4th of July 2016, I woke up feeling terrible, called into dialysis treatment, saying I wasn't going to make it there because of how bad I felt. And then I hung up. I called the ambulance and had them take me in, and I was unconscious before I ever made it to the hospital. So, yeah, I had a heart attack at my young age because I'm only 49. And then this was 4 years ago. So actually, I was only 45 when that happened. Yeah. And you know, what's really terrible about it is like I've never smoked. I barely drink. I eat all my food groups, so I eat a pretty well rounded diet and stuff. So you would think that I would be one of the least likely people to get to be affected by something like this, but instead I'm one of the people that's the lucky winner of a whole bunch of medical conditions. About the only thing I've got going for me is my cholesterol is perfect. Well, and my girlfriend, yeah, she says, but I meant medically speaking, the only thing I got going for me is my cholesterol is perfect. But other than that, I am just not doing real well medically speaking. Oh, somebody else is here. Hello, Arbaz. Welcome to the channel. Yes. Well, the kidney failure itself is not considered hereditary, but a lot of the underlying conditions that can cause kidney failure are, including the diabetes. Steel chainmail bodice. Let's see. Steel. There we go. Yeah, but welcome to the channel there, Arbaz3. I think you're new here. At least I don't recognize the name. Make sure to hit the follow if you can. I've got enough followers right now for my affiliate, but I'm always willing to get more because eventually I would like to even swap over and become a partner. Uh, right now, affiliate is okay, and I need to get an average of 3 viewers over the last 30 days in order to maintain or to get the invite to be an affiliate. So, yeah, so if you want to help do your part by doing that, that's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And it looks like you did, because it shows you as a follower. Thanks so much for the follow. Hopefully, when I make affiliate, people can be able to hit that subscribe button and help me out that way. And of course, you get one free subscription a month if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber. So it doesn't even necessarily cost you any additional money to do that. You can just, and that lasts for 1 month. Then on the anniversary of when you subscribed, it goes away. It doesn't auto renew at anything. So you can actually choose to reassign it again to that same channel or to another channel. So you can move that one around to show your appreciation. Just as a little informational tip for people who want to support their local streamers. You know, everybody has different streamers that they like to support, and that's why Twitch is becoming one of the biggest entertainment venues pretty much out there on the market. So we're just playing some old school RuneScape. I'm just grinding out some skills a little bit. So it's nothing super exciting to watch, but it sure seems to be popular with the OSRS crowd. So it seems to be okay. But if there's anything I could do to make it a little bit more interesting, let me know. It doesn't mean I'll necessarily follow exactly what you say to do, because I'm terrible at following instructions. As my girlfriend said, terrible, terrible. I do things my way, but I do take advice sometimes if I like the advice. Now, just got to remember that I do play the game my way, and that means that the advice is still taken as advice, not as gospel. I don't go out and I will not read wikis for guides on how to do things in the game because I want to do that myself. So I don't end up doing it the most efficient way by most people's standards. I probably waste a lot of gold in game doing it my way, but it's also like I would have done it if I just found the game and had to do it with no guides myself. If I'm doing a little bit better because some people have given me magic items in gold, but I still do things my way, and I have different fun than other people. Some people have fun following the guides and nerfing the system and doing things that way. Some people have fun like me trying to explore it out themselves for the most part. Uh, like I said, one of the things my goals here is to get a gilded altar for my house in order to level up my prayer with some bones that I have that I bought on the Grand Exchange, some wyvern and dragon bones that I understand that the gilded altar will allow me to maximize their leveling potential with, and so I'm holding on to them for right now. But even then, I might break down and just use them, just because I really want to get my prayer up to really a decent level so it doesn't like run out so fast. Uh, Shows just one person in channel right now, but of course, a lot of times that number is not exactly accurate. Let me see. Let me go to the Stream Manager online, see what it says if I hit refresh. Because this is usually the best way to figure out how many I actually have. Still says one viewer, so it's either my one fandom viewer or probably Miles Betta, who's been pretty dedicated in watching my stream. And I got to thank him for that. It's an awesome of him to do. Uh, Always around, bud. Yep, that's Miles Betta for you. He's dependable. I got to say that. Let's see. My smithing level is now 42. What can I smith? Steel kite shields. Okay. Let's move on up like the Jeffersons to kite shields. We're moving on up. It's the same experience as the other, but it gives me another variety of things to make. The thing that gets me though is that you've got multiple people in the room sometimes, but it doesn't tell me that, and that could be hurting my statistics. So I really wish it would fix that, but hey, that's just kind of the nature of the beast, I guess. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I got about 7 more of those. Then I'm done with that training for a little bit. Ugh. Well, since we are down to just one viewer, I think I might just cut the stream early right now and see if I can cut my losses a little bit and see if the average will be in my favor this time. But I will be back later to stream some more after I get a nap in. And oops, didn't want to do that. After I get a nap in, I am scheduled to stream tonight from 9 p.m. to midnight Central Standard Time. So if nothing else, I'll be back for that stream. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and just cut out. It looks like because I'm only getting credit for one viewer right now on the channel, and that could end up hurting my numbers right now. And I'm tired as it is. I'm kind of having trouble keeping my eyes open. Dialysis treatment, like I said, I just got back from, does have a tendency to take a lot out of me. I'm going to go ahead and run over to the Great Exchange real quick and see if I've got anything waiting to be picked up. I don't think I do, but I like to check that whenever I'm in near the Great Exchange. Oh, definitely. Speak to you later there, Miles. And thanks for, as always, for supporting the chat. And thank you, Arbaz3, for being here. I'm sorry I'm not doing more, but if the system's only going to like either not give me credit for having people here at all, or just say I've only got one person, it's just going to hurt my stats too much to really maintain right now. And it's not anybody's fault. I'm just not liking that particular side effect. Okay, let's see, those. All right, yep. I'm even starting to zone out here a little bit. How do I stream? What do you mean by how do I stream exactly? I stream on my computer right now, mostly using a XSplit broadcaster, which is the one recommended by Felicia Day. And then I just stream directly to my Twitch channel. As far as other times, I will stream directly from my PlayStation 4, just using the inbuilt console ability to stream both of them directly to my Twitch channel. So, Yes, I do it from my computer. Uh, Although I have the RuneScape on my phone and tablet, I don't stream from my phone or tablet. Um, when I think it would be a real nightmare trying to do a stream that way. I'm waiting because one of the things I'm expecting in the mail this week is a lap desk that would allow me to stream some from my bedroom where I can get a little bit more comfortable, be a little bit easier on my back at times. But anyway, and I could also use it when I'm at dialysis on at their chair. I can take and bring the portable lap desk with me and set my stuff up to make it a little bit easier to do things while I'm at dialysis, including watching movies and stuff while I'm laying there in a reclining chair that they give us. Uh, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and see. I'm going to try to raid you guys out to somebody. Let's see if anybody's running a channel that I might like to raid. But Angelica, she's an Australian streamer that streams old school RuneScape that I've stopped by her channel a couple of times. I'll go ahead and raid you over to her.